Welcome to part 2 of making a Joker's tongue. I melted this into existence in part 1, so be sure to watch that first if you haven't done so. In this part, I will be demonstrating my process for grinding glass with a rotary tool. To avoid electrocution, you must use a flexible attachment. Plus, the way in which it allows accuracy is unbeatable. It feels very similar to drawing with a pen. The easiest way to know what parts to remove is to use a permanent marker. Although it starts to come off if it soaks for too long, usually these projects don't take as long. The permanent ink takes a while to dry on the glass, so you can rub it off with your finger if you make a mistake. A diamond bit is required to cut or grind glass, and for this application I need to use one with a sharp point to make sure the corner between the tongue and the mouth is cleanly defined. I have these Dremel brand ones because I needed them quick when I bought them, and that's what was available to me. But the Harbor Freight diamond bits also come highly recommended. Usually I wait until I have a handful of things to cold work to justify the time for setup and cleanup, but since I was already filming this project, it's well worth it to document how I do it. I have this at a lower speed, which you want for this application because if a piece of glass chips off and gets wedged where you're working, it will split apart your project. Whatever's left is going to be extremely sharp, so this is just one scenario that makes eye and hand protection essential. I used to use a plastic tub that had the same height all around, but I found this shape here to be perfect. With a normal tub, I would have the water level low to prevent accidental splashing, but the angle of my wrists resting on the sides would cause discomfort pretty quickly. I have better accuracy when my arms are stabilized, so I needed something better. I went to the dollar store looking for a tub that I could cut the sides from and found this. With this shape, the front and back protect from splashing, while the sides are low enough for my wrist to be more comfortable. Speaking of protection, I'm not wearing anything over my mouth or nose. If you don't know, glass dust will kill you. Silicosis is not a joke. It takes years to develop as your lungs respond to irritation by scarring themselves, and you develop a relentless cough that only gets worse. I have an ancestor, and probably many ancestors who died this way. They were all glassworkers in what is now the Czech Republic. They called it the glassblower's disease. The water in the basin here is my lung protection, but it only works if the tool, glass, and any debris stay wet. The water keeps the dust from becoming airborne. If I start grinding out of the water, it will expel a cloud of death dust. That said, there is a trick. I can grind glass just above the water level as long as I keep the tip of the tool in the water. The spinning motion allows water to travel up the tool, keeping it wet and safe. If I put the tool in past the nut though, everything will get wet. If that water is filled with glass dust, it will become a breathing hazard when it dries. I have to wash and scrub as best as I can to remove any debris. Any bits of diamond will cause issues if it remains on the glass. Okay, so we are back in the studio and I just want to add only enough heat to make the surface vitreous again. A little flame polish here and there with my mini torch, maybe a quick adjustment, and we're done. So that's the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more insight into the world of glass. I appreciate you watching to the end. Thanks a lot.